Good evening and welcome to Rory Talks Football, your daily Arsenal news, updates, my opinions and reactions. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a fantastic day. And it's good to see you all back. If you are new here, please do drop a subscription, bottom right-hand corner, smash a like on the video as well. Smash a like for that big Arsenal win yesterday. A huge win. We'll get through all of the reaction to that win, everything that Arteta said in his post-match press conference as well. Of course, we've got Guess the Gooner. And other than that, to be fair, there's not a huge amount to talk about today. So I'll probably just answer a few questions from the chat, have a chill one, and then jump off and watch Brighton against Everton. Gabe, Mustafa, Peter, Bolts, Daniel, it is good to see you all. I hope you are all doing well. Can't see City dropping 6 points, unfortunately. Neither can I. Law, Terence, Alon, Chris, Joker, Dimas. It is good to see you all. It is good to see you all. What a win yesterday! What a win yesterday! Obviously, if you were watching the watch along, you know how I felt about it, and I watched it back on Match of the Day as well. To be fair, Match of the Day they kind of cut out a lot of the spicier bits of the game, a lot of the heated moments they cut out. Have you managed to find a ticket for the Wolves game yet? No, I haven't actually got a ticket for Wolves yet. Were you worried? The first sort of 10 minutes, I was concerned. Yeah, we were struggling a bit the first 10 minutes. Thoughts on Tom's arm? I don't know what to say about Tom's arm. To be fair, I wish him a speedy recovery. It sounds like it's bad. I just saw Tom's TikTok updating people on his injury, and apparently the bone has pierced his muscle, so he's got to have surgery on it. Thoughts on Orkan Koku? We talked about Koku a couple of days ago on stream. I do think it's a good backup option if we don't get Declan Rice. Very good player. Lots of experience considering he's only 23. Wish Arteta played Kivior sooner. So do I. Hindsight is wonderful. It was funny, actually. I went back to when I tweeted what my lineup for the Man City game would be. I had Kivior in my lineup at right centre back for the Man City game. And I went back to it, and a lot of the replies were basically hammering me for saying that we should play Kivior, saying that he's not experienced enough and this and that and the other. And yeah, I guess now we know that we really should have done that. But it is what it is. Hindsight's wonderful. Stopping Gimares was key yesterday. I agree, Mustafa. If Saliba hasn't started against Sporting, well, to be fair, Henry, he didn't actually pick up the injury against Sporting. He actually picked up the injury against Fulham. And it was basically, we then played Sporting the next game, and it was during that game that he basically realised it was worse. Rory, are you recording on a potato? Pretty much it is a potato. It's a terrible webcam that I am working on an upgrade for. It's also to do with my internet being absolutely awful. So I do apologise for the quality on YouTube. These are all things that will improve ahead of next season, but we have to live with them for now. I made a compilation of all the heated moments in that Newcastle game. Oh, nice. I will check that out because Match of the Day literally got rid of all of them. Would you rather Tierney or Zinni versus Brighton? I still think you start Zinni. Would have lost if Xhaka didn't make that challenge. Unbelievable. Yeah, it was a hell of a challenge. Thank you, Jakob. Literally living with a potato webcam like Arteta lived with holding. But my Kivior will come soon. Shout out everyone watching on TikTok. I do appreciate you all. If you want to get involved in the YouTube chat, the link is in my bio. Head over, drop a subscription. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. Yeah, in that case, if it's HD now, that just means it was my internet being poor, which is also something I'm trying to upgrade, but Virgin are just absolute mugs. West Brom didn't get playoffs. Stoked at that. And we smashed Newcastle and rattled them. What a weekend. Yeah, I was just watching. We're live about 15 minutes later than normal because I was watching the climax of the championship season. 5 teams all going for 2 places in the top 6 for the playoffs. Coventry and Sunderland got it in the end, I believe. But it was crazy. Millwall basically bottled it. Millwall were 3-1 up, guaranteed to be in the top 6. And then they lost 4-3. What's the best quality you've noticed with Kivior? Just his ability on the ball. He's really confident on the ball and he demands the ball as well. Unlike Holding, who often would drop really deep and try and get into a really comfortable position to receive the ball, Kivior's happy to receive it anywhere. Obviously, his pace is a massive asset, but it's his ability on the ball, which is a reason that I think long term we could see him playing in that left back role, similarly to Ake at Man City this season. But look, let's get into Arteta's press conference. He was asked about the team making a statement. He said, I think the word to describe it is pride. When you have question marks, you have to resolve them straight away. When you had emotions that we had last year in that dressing room, you have to make sure that you feel them again. To realize how difficult, how nasty, and how unpleasant they are. And then you have to find a way to approach the game in a different way because the manner is going to be higher than last year. The boys did that extremely well. So I'm really proud of them. And the funny thing about that is that Aaron Ramsdale, in his he was interviewed after the game. He said that Arteta actually showed all of the players the footage from the All or Nothing documentary of them losing to Newcastle away last year and just how gutted they were, how gutted the staff were, and all of that. And he showed them that yesterday as a motivator to not feel that pain again. So it worked. It clearly worked. You know, there was a lot of fight in that team yesterday, but it was good fight. It wasn't erratic. It was fighting for each other, but not boiling over. And I think actually it was in the end, it was Newcastle players that got a bit carried away in the atmosphere. Did you see the Arsenal fan that got battered in the Newcastle end? Yeah, I did see that. I mean, to be fair, he got battered, but he was still standing when he left. So I had a bit of respect for him, to be fair. Chams says, other than Rice, who else are we looking to sign? Also, come on, you Gunners. We're looking to sign a lot of players. We're looking to sign at least another midfielder on top of Declan Rice. There are lots of options for that. Zubamendi, Caicedo, Orkan Koku. We're looking at centre-backs. Mark Guehi is one of the top candidates for that. Also, Sutalo from Dinamo Zagreb is another option. And then we're looking at forwards as well. Moussa Diaby's been talked about. Did you see Declan Rice giving his shirt to a young fan? Exactly the type of person we want, not mentioning such a talented player. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, Declan Rice is class, on and off the pitch. Yeah, I did see Eddie Howe moaning. about the ball being out of play. You reap what you sow, Mr. Howe. You reap what you sow. He was asked about talking about last year's result before the game. He said, we have to feel it. I think it wasn't enough just talking about it. We really had to feel it. We have to see it. We have to recognize our phases, not only the players, but what it means for the staff as well. And that's football. You can win or lose, but that feeling is beyond something. And that we didn't do enough in the day. We had to put that right today. Newcastle are the most annoying team in the Prem. Kind of. But the thing was, I truthfully was one of the few people when we drew 0-0 to Newcastle that after the game came out and said, look, fair play to them, because in the first 10 minutes we were tearing them apart and they realized that they had to just shut up shop and play that game the way they did to get a point out of it. So I never really criticized them for playing the way they did in that game. But in the same way, they can't criticize us for doing the same thing at St. James's Park. And at least we did it whilst winning. Thoughts on Charlie Patino leaving? I think it's best for both parties. You know, if he's not going to get game time, if we can get good money for him. Look, it's brutal. It's brutal doing that to academy graduates. But I think we're at a point in the sort of development of the club now where those sorts of, decisions have to be made. He was asked about how the players responded to being shown clips of the result from last season. He said, well, I'm looking at the video, so I didn't see those faces, but you don't have to be a genius to understand how painful it was. The word was pain and then desire for revenge. And they had that in their bellies for sure. So it really was a revenge campaign yesterday, which is good. He was asked about how happy he was with the way that we controlled the game. He said it was really good. He said that was going to be a key thing. It was not only about playing or dominating certain phases. It's about game management against a strong team. They were huge in the way they played and managed the game, and we had to do that even better than them. And I'm really happy with how we did it. He was asked about where yesterday's performance ranked this season. He said, today feels the best because the last one and the one before has gone. But we have won at difficult grounds this season. We've done it really consistently. But like you said, in different ways. In this game, they managed something different compared to at Stamford Bridge or playing away at Spurs. but we did what the game demanded, and that was really smart from us. Lindstrom linked today. Yeah, Lindstrom I'm not that keen on. Alan Shearer throwing a paddy at Dermot Gallagher was beautiful. Yeah, I did. I actually thought that was quite poor from Alan Shearer. The big difference for me, in terms of showing bias, because people accuse me of being biased all the time, and it's like, well, of course I'm biased. I'm an Arsenal fan. The difference between, you know, people like me that are just TikTokers or whatever, and someone like Alan Shearer is that he's paid an awful lot of money to be a pundit in a professional way. And I thought the way he went off at Dermot Gallagher yesterday, look, I can't stand Dermot Gallagher, and many a time I've gone off at Dermot Gallagher, but you can't do that as a professional on, you know, live TV. And actually, Shearer was wrong. Shearer was completely wrong. So I did think that was poor. Brighton, Everton, and Brentford away, all potential pitfalls for City. They are, you know, Brighton. I don't think Everton away is a pitfall. I think the only two places I can see them dropping points are Brighton and Brentford, and I just can't see them dropping points in both of them. Maybe they drop points in one of them, but not both of them. I don't think, unfortunately. As sad as it is, as sad as it is. Playoff prediction. Do you know what? I think Sunderland could end up winning the playoffs. They've made a late resurgence into the playoffs, and I think that momentum can often carry you through the playoffs as well. Love Shearer, but it was embarrassing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Shearer normally, and to be fair, he's attacked VAR previously in the way that I think he should have done. But yesterday I thought it was poor. My mate just got offered a job for Peacock and Optus as camera crew and rejected it. Why did he reject it? I mean, fair play to him, but no, Luton are going up. I want Luton to go up. Of the teams that are in the playoffs, I want Luton to go up. They finished third, so I think they deserve it on that. But I have a feeling Sunderland are going to go up, truthfully. Arteta was asked about showing our fight in the title race. He said, we're there. We want to keep digging. The prize is there. It's not too far. And the only thing we can do is keep insisting and don't turn our backs and lose focus on something else. Be determined every single day. Let's keep going and see what happens. And he's right. Look, I don't think Man City are going to drop the points, but you never know. And all we can do is keep putting the pressure on them and hope for the best. On Martin Odegaard's big performance, he said the leadership he is showing and the levels of consistency, which is what you demand from those leaders, it's not moments, it's every single day. Home and away, he's had some huge performances. He's really helping the team. He's growing in the right direction. We're all very happy to have him. And that's bang on. You know, Odegaard's come under a lot of criticism for not performing in the difficult away games. And yes, there are a couple of difficult away games where Odegaard hasn't performed. But truthfully, in those games, none of the team has really performed. It's never like just been that Odegaard's having a bad game. There have been a couple of big away games where the team hasn't played that well. And as a result, Odegaard hasn't played that well either. But equally, he's turned up in some massive away games. Newcastle away, Tottenham away. I thought even United away when we lost, he was very good. Difference is he is our captain. He's meant to be a leader. I think he is a leader. Rory, best Arsenal news accounts on TikTok. Best Arsenal news accounts on TikTok. Me. And my mate don't want to move overseas. Oh, you were talking about your mate. What did he say? Oh, he wants to continue camera education and plans to approach Sky. Fair play. Fair play to him. Good luck to him. And do I have any suggestions of good Arsenal news accounts on Twitter? Again, probably just me. No, there are lots of good ones on Twitter. Mainly me, but there are lots of good ones. Any idea why Lee Gunner calls Odegaard Gibraltar? Guy's a weirdo. So Gibraltar comes from the fact that supposedly Odegaard stat pads for Norway in games against Gibraltar. But yes, the guy is a weirdo. You are correct. You are correct indeed. He was asked, this is funny, Arteta was asked whether we were guilty of time wasting today. And he said, for sure, our team is not like that. I don't even want to get close to that conversation with the game that we played today. And he's bang on. Any specifically, I'm new to Twitter and want to follow a few. I already follow you. AFC stuff is a good one. It's difficult trying to think of them off my head, to be fair. To be honest, if you follow me, go through the accounts that I follow. because go through all the accounts that I follow, basically. Go to the bottom of the ones that I follow, because they're the ones I started following at the start, and that's most of the Arsenal news accounts. Eduardo Hayne, yeah, we did slow the game down. Yeah, we slowed the game down, and I think we did time waste a bit. But I think Arteta's point regarding time wasting is more that we've been the victims of time wasting unbelievable amounts this season. And so for the couple of times that we've done it ourselves, I think it's fair. He was asked on proving that the team will fight right until the end. He said it proves that we've done it today. Now we have to prove that we're able to do it against Brighton. It's going to be a completely different game. Again, really demanding, and we're going to have to be at our best to beat them. We've done it for 10.5 months, I think. We have to keep doing it. We are there. It feels very different to 10 days ago. We have to make sure the momentum is there. And then he was asked on whether we matched the approach from Newcastle in our previous meeting this season. And he said, we've done what we had to do to win the game, and I'm very happy with that. And that was the end of the press conference. I can see Arsenal reports, Daily AFC stuff. Yeah, all of them are good. All of them are good. Yeah, Big Booty Bantner is a great follower. He is a great follower. No, I don't actually follow who that is. I'm slowly putting Fabrizio on Fraud Watch. Fabrizio's not on Fraud Watch, but he is a bit of a tapping merchant these days. He is a bit of a tapping merchant. How many of this 11 do we have to improve to win the UCL? For me, we need to replace 5. I don't necessarily think it's about replacing 5, Joe. I think definitely there are upgrades that we can make. I still think our best starting 11 this season was capable of beating anyone. Genuinely, I do think we were capable of beating anyone. You look at the game against City at the Emirates this season, we actually weren't far away from beating them. Yes, I know we lost 3-1, but we weren't that far away in terms of the way that the game went. And so really, I think it's just about improving the depth. But the way that we improve the depth is by basically you bring players in that are an upgrade on the current player, and the current player drops to the bench. And then you've got your depth, and you've got an improved starting 11. So I certainly think, as much as I love him, and he was phenomenal yesterday, I think Declan Rice is a clear upgrade on Granit Xhaka. Similar player, but I just think better. But then you drop Granit Xhaka to the bench, that's an amazing bench option to have. Haven't we only played our strongest 11 like 6 times this season? Yeah, the last time we played our strongest 11 was before the World Cup. Everton are 1-0 up. Big. That is big. Tell you what, Leicester could be going down. Leicester could be doing, and I would love it. I would love it if Leicester went down. Thoughts on Jakub Kiwior? Absolutely love him. I really do like Kiwior. And I think it's fantastic for Arsenal that right now we know in Kiwior, it's like that's another tick. That's another player that will be in the squad next year that is a very, very good player and that we can build on. Kiwior, for me, the thing that goes unnoticed is how aware he is, where he needs to be. Like when Jorginho needed cover, he stepped up, and White needed help to be stepped up. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was going to say, hasn't the Everton Brighton game only just kicked off, and it's 1-0 already? Who scored? Who scored for Everton? Kiwior, Gabriel, Saliba, Tomiyasu for tight games, completely shut down the defence. Decore after 35 seconds. Fair play. Could be an interesting watch. Anyway, it is time because there wasn't a huge amount to talk to. We've done the press conference. It is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path without the Arsenal part of it. You have to guess who that Arsenal player is. The person who guesses it correctly in the YouTube chat gets an incredible amount of pride for their elite Arsenal ball knowledge. And it is quite as simple as that. If you're on TikTok and you want to head over to the YouTube chat to get involved, the link is in my bio. Head over, subscribe, get involved. There is serious levels of pride to this game. George Taylor and who won Guess the Gooner at halftime yesterday? George Taylor won Guess the Non-Gooner. I feel bad. I can't remember who won the actual Guess the Gooner. But look, we're about to get into it. We are about to get into it. So, this player, it might be Thomas Hickey, actually. Yeah, it might have been. Ross came second. But look, this is your Guess the Gooner player. So, this player went on loan to Bolton Wanderers. They went on loan to Bournemouth. They then went to West Ham. They then went to Bournemouth. They then went to Aarhus GF. That is it. Bolton on loan, Bournemouth on loan, West Ham, Bournemouth, Aarhus. And there we go. It was a quick one. It was not Rob Holding. It was Jack Wilshere. And James Bidder got it correct first. Yeah, I could see why Bolton would throw people into thinking it was Holding. But it was indeed Jack Wilshere. So congratulations to James Bidder. Ross Lawman came second again. And Anthony came third. Mustafa came fourth. George Taylor came fifth. So congratulations. The pride does indeed go to James Bidder. I believe that might be your first ever win, James. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that might be your first ever win, James. So congratulations. Yeah, Ross can't catch a break. Ross is coming. Ross is like Arsenal. He's very, very, very good, but he keeps coming second. To be fair, he has won it a few times in the past. Ross is a serial winner in the past. Jakub said, I don't got the ball knowledge for this. I'll just sit back and watch. Do you know what? I respect it. And now it's time for Guess the Non-Gooner. So not quite as much pride for Guess the Non-Gooner. Are you just live on TikTok? No, I'm live on YouTube as well, Pillow. That's where I'm looking at the chat on YouTube. The link is in my bio to that. If you want to head over and subscribe, I would be massively appreciative. Guess the Non-Gooner is a player that has never and doesn't play for Arsenal. I give you their full career path. You have to guess who it is. And you do get pride, but not quite as much pride as guessing the Gooner. So this player started at Anderlecht. They went to Hamburg, Man City, and back to Anderlecht. Anderlecht, Hamburg, Man City, Anderlecht. Bolts wants his participation award now. Bolts, you get your participation award. Meanwhile, SS9 has won. It is indeed Vincent Kompany, who hit 101 points at Burnley today. Massive achievement for him. Fair play to him. Anthony came second. Adam Gernhill came third. I think Max came fourth, although he's absolutely butchered the spelling. Ross Lawman comes fifth. Joe Madison sixth. Joe Madaford, not Joe Madison. Talking of Madison, he's on course to hit 10 goals and 10 assists this season in that Leicester team. Very much someone that I think will get poached. Well, he'll definitely get poached in the summer. It'll be interesting if Arsenal are in for him again. I don't think we will be. But I think him and Harvey Barnes are definitely two players that we could see getting big moves. Both of them having good seasons in a terrible Leicester team. Maddison will go to Newcastle. Yeah, very possibly. How am I sixth when on my screen I'm first? Because, Joe, you're sixth on my screen. And my screen is the one that counts, unfortunately. The problem is, Joe, is that basically on your chat, Joe, the messages come through on a bit of a delay, but your message doesn't go through on a delay. So you can press it. And if like a second ago someone else pressed theirs, on your screen, yours will show up first. On my screen, it was SS9. That's how it works, unfortunately. Do you think we will need a super sub so we are in the Champions League? Yeah, but I think we've already got players that I think are good enough to be super subs. Players like Leandro Trossard. Very, very good players to bring off the bench. If we did get Tony, do you think we would see a drop-off in Martinelli's performances like when Nketiah played with Martinelli? No, I don't at all. I don't at all, because actually, if you look at Jamie, if you watch the way that Brentford play, Mbeumo gets an unbelievable amount of chances. Mbeumo gets so many chances, and almost always from Ivan Toney. They go long to Toney, and his ability to win the ball and flick it on, or hold it up and play a ball in is fantastic. Compared to Nketiah, it's different gravy. So I actually think you might even see Martinelli do even better with Ivan Toney in the team. On mine, I was first, but was fifth. Them's the break. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. Come on Wednesday, we need to go up this season. Battle for Kim Min Jae is going to be massive this summer. Not only quality, but the revenue would generate from Korean fan base would be massive. Well, the other thing with Kim Min Jae is that in June, Rory, unfortunately, you have become a pessimistic fan. I don't think it's pessimistic. I think it's realistic. Look at the points that Man City have accumulated so far. the odds of them dropping 5 points in their final 12 is unrealistic. There's uh, I've been a very optimistic fan all season, but I'm not just going to be blindly optimistic when it doesn't make sense. Um, I'm good, thank you, George. Good to see you. You just missed Guess the Gooner, unfortunately, George. Am I watching the Brighton game? No, I'm gonna wrap this stream up and head off and watch it though. Do we want Everton or Brighton to win? Personally, I want Brighton to win because I still think Brighton. Actually, I don't know. I don't know because I want Leicester to go down, but then I also want Everton to go down. So yeah, ultimately, I want Brighton to win. Ross Lawman also wants Brighton to win. Joe Madison, unpopular opinion, Haaland isn't in City's top 3 most important players. I think he is. But that's the beauty of football. You need to blindly back your team if they can mathematically win the league. Look, you can support in the way that you want to support. I am massively optimistic up until a point. I'm not just going to be blindly, that's just not. It's just not the way I am. We have to believe. Look, I won't rule out winning the title. It's my opinion that we won't win the title. It doesn't mean I'm not saying we can't win the title. It could happen. I just think it's very unlikely to happen. But look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Like I said, there wasn't a huge amount to talk about today. We'll be back live again tomorrow. We should get it's because today, even though it's a Monday, it's a bank holiday in the UK. So a lot of the journalists and stuff aren't working, so we don't have that much news. But we'll be back live 5 p.m. tomorrow, as always, with I'm sure a lot more transfer speculation and stuff like that. But until then, have a good evening. I hope you've had a good bank holiday if you are in the UK. Thank you for all the support. As always, please do drop a subscription if you're new. Smash a like on the video, and I will catch you tomorrow. Goodbye.